everybody, how are you? It's Sinead White here from SineadWhite.com, quantum healing hypnosis therapist, energy healer, mind coach, and I'm just on here today to talk to you a little bit about QHHT, quantum healing hypnosis therapy. So this would be for people who are either thinking of going for a session or have maybe a session booked and are interested in finding out what does a session involve. And it's a beautiful, beautiful type of therapy that was developed by Dolores Cannon, the legendary Dolores Cannon, who passed away in 2014. And Dolores was a hypnotherapist for over 50 years. And she developed this specific therapy because she noticed that lots of her clients, when they were going through a series of hypnosis, would inadvertently from time to time pop into past life and other realities. And that's where this particular system developed from. And so it's a beautiful, beautiful method that I absolutely love to do. It's an absolute honor to be able to facilitate sessions for people. And each session is so different and unique. I never know what I'm going to get when people come for this session. So it's always wonderful and such an honor to be able to go on a journey with you. Just to prepare for the session, I suppose just describe what hypnosis is as well, because a lot of people that come to me think that I'm going to do something unusual to them or whatever, and actually, you know, it's a very natural process. Hypnosis is a very gentle process where it's really all about deep relaxation. So my role as the facilitator is to get you into a nice deep state of relaxation. And you know, it is a natural state of being as well, because you know, you would naturally go into a hypnotic state multiple times during the day. So even as soon as you close down your eyes, your brainwave status has shifted and you're automatically in an altered brainwave state. And that's what we work with hypnosis, altered brainwave states to the point of relaxation. So even at home, if you're getting tuned into a television program, if you get a chance to sit down and watch a bit of TV and you're really focused and engrossed in that program, and you know, somebody else might be asking for a cup of tea or asking for some details in the background, you actually don't even hear them because you're so tuned into your program. That's actually a hypnotic state as well. So you know, it's a very, very natural method. All right, so hopefully that relaxes you and you know that nothing will be done to you. It's simply me guiding you into that deep state of hypnosis. And the reason we do that is because when we are relaxed, we're able to open and to work through the right side of the brain, the subconscious mind, which is our side of the brain that we dream, that we can access information through meditation and things like that, the very same type of method. And that's the side of the brain that we want to work with for hypnosis. Our left side of the brain is our very practical side of the brain, ticking off our boxes, getting our jobs done. We want to leave that in hypnosis session and kind of work more through the visual side, the imaginative side, the dream side, the writing side, which allows us to connect with our guides as well. And that's what we're talking about here with these types of sessions. So it's very gentle. Make sure that the morning of your session that you have a good breakfast. Try to avoid coffee or tea if you can on the morning, because you know, it can be a little bit of a stimulant in tea and coffee. And again, this is all about relaxation. So you can have your cuppa when you finish the session, and know that the session will be a couple of hours, between 4 and 5 hours. So you know, you'd really want to make sure you have a good breakfast that morning just to keep you going. And obviously no drugs or alcohol, you know, and definitely no alcohol 24, even 48 hours between. So I even say to people, if you can, even a week beforehand, to try and have a good diet and abstain from alcohol and that if you can. All just for a good session. So have a good rest if you can the night before, and just be open. Don't have any expectations. I know if you've booked your session, you might be very excited about it, but try not to have too many expectations, because you just put a bit of pressure on yourself when you do that. This is a very gentle process. You go into deep relaxation. I'm going to guide you through to the most appropriate time and place where there's information for you to access to help you in this life. And so that's why we set intentions as well at the start of the session. I'll be getting you to spend a few minutes setting your intention. What is your intention for this session? Some people come to me specifically for healing. They want physical healing. Others want access to information. They want to know about past lives. They want to know what their soul purpose is. That's absolutely perfect. Your intention is personal to you. But I'm just saying, don't have any expectations, because with this type of session, we work with your higher self, your higher guidance, to bring you to the most appropriate time and space where there is information for you to access. So you can't make a mistake in this. All you have to do is go with the flow and trust whatever it is you're seeing. So don't be afraid to tell me whatever it is you're seeing or knowing or feeling. Some people are very visual in their sessions. I'm clairvoyant myself. I see things, so I tend to say see, but obviously some people have other gifts, clairsentience, feeling, or claircognizance, knowing. There's no one way better than the other, and you can have a QHHT session regardless of your gifts. I've had clients that literally have felt the whole way through, well, I feel I'm here and this is what I feel, and even felt answers from the higher self through their body, you know, physical body. So that's beautiful as well. So there's no wrong way of doing it. We work with whatever gifts that you have. And so at the start of the session, you know, we'll have a chat. Really, it's to allow you to feel relaxed with me as your guide, as your facilitator, and also to have a chat about, you know, your life so far, your childhood, any patterns or issues that you might have had with your life. Sometimes it's only when you chat about them and talk about it, because when do you get the opportunity to do that? It's very hard, isn't it? It's not everybody you can meet to go, let me tell you my life story, but I'm all ears, I'm dying to hear it. And so that in itself can be therapy too, the opportunity to be able to talk about things and get things off your chest. So that is beautiful in itself. So you'll have the opportunity to do that. And of course, if I identify patterns or pick up on any messages from your guides around that, I will of course tell them to you as well. So, you know, it is the work starts the minute you come into the room, even before the hypnosis part of the session starts. And then after a couple of hours of chatting, we'll get down to the hypnosis part, and you'll be lying down and you'll be nice and comfortable. And really, I guide you through. So you'll be listening to my voice, tuning into my voice, and we'll be going on that particular journey. And just trust wherever you go is perfect. Some people straight away will see black, and that's absolutely perfect. Let's move on from the black. Do you think it's nighttime? Do you think, you know, are there colours beginning to come into the black now or whatever? So don't try and come out of your analytical brain where you're saying, oh, I'm not doing this right, or what am I doing? Come out of that. For this particular process, guys, I don't want you to analyse at all, okay? I want you to leave the analysis until after the session. So once the session is completed, you're free to analyse to your heart's content. You even have your recording of the session, okay, to analyse as much as you want. But for the session itself, I'll say to you, please come out of your left brain and please don't analyse too much. And this is where there can be interference a little bit from the ego, from the left side of the brain. I have no problem with ego. Ego is an important part of who we are. It keeps us alive. It keeps us, you know, in survival mode. It makes sure we get our tasks done every day. Ego doesn't like change, can be a bit suspicious. So, you know, for this, at the start of the session, I usually acknowledge the ego and say, thank you, ego, for all that you've done. You're free to observe during the session, but we don't need your input. And that helps to relax that's conscious part of the mind and allow the unconscious, the subconscious, the right side of the brain then to flow with the permission there as well. So it's a beautiful session, guys, and you absolutely can't make a mistake and you can't go wrong. So have no expectations. And don't do any analysis or whatever. As I said, wherever you go will be perfect for you. When you are going through the hypnosis part, just the way I describe it to clients is to use all your senses. So if you're seeing something, let's say if you're visualizing something, or if you know or you feel something, I'll be saying to you, well, what do you sense? Use all your senses. What does it smell like? What does it feel like? What, you know, if you're somewhere, how does that feel? Describe the feelings, describe the emotions that come up. And this is a huge part of the healing of QHHT, because often we carry emotions with memories, even if they're cellular ancestral memories. We carry emotions with those. So if you are feeling emotional during the session, release, absolutely, have a cry, have a shout, have a laugh. I've seen it all, you know, and that's releasing the emotion. To allow for deeper healing, which is what you're here to do. So often we can carry over traumas, cellularly, you know, ancestral stuff carried in our DNA that could be blocking us to some extent. Now, sometimes it can be from this life, it can be childhood trauma that we're carrying over, some kind of a block. That's perfect. Often we'll go there and we'll clear that and we move on then to another time or place. So I don't know where you'll go in the session. Sometimes it might be this life, back to childhood, or maybe during some trauma that you've carried that you might not even realise, because something happening at a 6-year-old can be very traumatic for them from their perspective. But actually, you know, from as an adult point of view, you might say, that wasn't traumatic. But the emotions you carried at that age could be, and they could be blocking you. And that's why sometimes we do the inner child work as part of the session, which is really, really powerful work, because, you know, really there's no time, you know, it isn't really past, present, or whatever. It's kind of all happening in the now moment. So when we tap into childhood trauma, for example, we're able to bring up that version of you and send some healing to that version of you, which is very, very powerful stuff. Because often if you're feeling triggered or insecure and you don't know where that's coming from, it is that younger version of you going, oh, I don't want to do that, that's safe, or I did that before and I got laughed at, or whatever. So that's where that comes from. So just be open, guys, to wherever you journey to, and describe in as much detail as you can using all your senses. So if I described you there now or asked you there to describe your breakfast, you might visualize your breakfast. What did you have? But imagine biting into that toast or that sausage, whatever it might be that you've had. And what does it taste like? Feel the sensations, you know. So that's what I want to get all the senses going during your session. And, you know, once you start that journey, then you become completely wrapped up in it. It's easier to go on that journey. So it's a really, really lovely process. You can't make a mistake in this, guys. All right, you really can't. And I'll be asking you questions. So you might want to go off on your journey, but I'll be asking you questions. So this is different from your clinical hypnotherapy, where you're just off on your journey. Here I'll be actually asking you to describe, and that's for the recording as well, so that it can be clear where you've gone. You'll often think, oh, I remember that, you know, so you don't, with the different levels of trance, so to speak, you can actually go on a very powerful journey, even in the lighter level of trance. So this is where we talk about the brainwaves. So some people will go into theta, you know, they don't remember anything at all, but you don't need to go to that level. You know, there's beta, alpha, theta and delta being sleep, alpha also being another level or stage of the brainwaves, okay, that we can work from. And often as you go on the journey, you do naturally get deeper and deeper. Once we've gone on our journeys to wherever the appropriate time and place is, then we call in the higher self. This is the higher soul that has all the information about you across all the spectrums, dimensions and timelines. And, you know, we'll have discussed your set of questions when you come in for your interview, and I'll ask these to higher self. And again, you might be aware that you're answering these questions. What comes into mind? The first thing that comes into mind, just answer. And once you do that, you find that they start to flow. So again, don't analyze or say, can I answer that? That's using the conscious side of the brain, which we don't want to do. So allow that right side of the brain to just flow, and the answers will come. So it's a beautiful, beautiful session. So guys, I look forward to meeting you. If you've booked in, I look forward to meeting you. If you're thinking about it, I would say definitely it's a big investment in yourself, and you deserve it. You know, it really, really is a powerful session. And so that's it. And so if you have any questions, feel free to email me. Love and blessings to you. Bye-bye.